Damodar is going to play. I mean, Balaram play. But it's too loud. Too loud, Zach. Is he back there? No, he's not. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. And Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. Jai Mr. Pad Paramahansa Padujikacharya Ashtotar Tata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Ashtotar Tata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Grantharaj srimadbhagavatam Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya Narang chaiv narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam and Tato Jai Mudiriyet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, we should offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, and unto Srila Prabhupada, the translator, commentator, and our spiritual master. Nashta prayesha bhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke Bhakti bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering devotional service to the pure devotee, all that is inauspicious within the heart is destroyed almost to nil, and loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, who is glorified in transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. On the second day of May 2018 in SanDiego, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. We are in Canto 3, the status quo, chapter 32, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, and we're text 27. Etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnasaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha. One, Prabhu? Want to try? Etavaneva yogena samagre neha yoginaha yujjate bhimato hyarto yadasangastu kritsnashaha. Etavan, of such a measure, eva, just, yogena, by yoga practice, samagreneha, samagrena, all, iha, in this world, yoginaha, of the yogi, yujjate, is achieved, abhimataha, desired, he, certainly, artaha, purpose, yat, which, asangaha, detachment, tu, indeed, kritsnashaha, completely. Translation. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. Please repeat. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. Purport. There are three kinds of yoga, namely bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and ashtanga yoga. Devotees, jnanis, and yogis all try to get out of the material entanglement. The jnanis try to detach their sensual activities from material engagement. The jnana yogi thinks that matter is false and that Brahman is truth. He tries, therefore, by cultivation of knowledge, to detach the senses from material enjoyment. The Ashtanga yogis also try to control the senses. The devotees, however, try to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Therefore, it appears that the activities of the bhaktas, or devotees, are better than those of the jnanis and yogis. The mystic yogis simply try to control the senses by practicing the 8 divisions of yoga: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, etc. And the jnanis try by mental reasoning to understand that sense enjoyment is false. But the easiest and most direct process is to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. The purpose of all yoga is to detach one's sense activities from this material world. The final aims, however, are different. Jnanis want to become one with the Brahman effulgence, yogis want to realize Paramatma, and devotees want to develop Krishna consciousness and transcendental loving service to the Lord. That loving service is the perfect stage of sense control. The senses are actually active symptoms of life, and they cannot be stopped. They can be detached only if there is superior engagement. As it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Param Drishtva Nivartate. The activities of the senses can be stopped if they are given superior engagements. The supreme engagement is engagement of the senses in the service of the Lord. That is the purpose of all yoga. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilatam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto him and all members of Sri Parampara. So in the field of psychology, materialistic psychology, you'll find this idea of sublimation. And although it doesn't exactly correspond to our process of transferring one's attachment from matter to spirit, it's pretty close. It's kind of in the same realm. So I like to kind of appropriate that word. Since it's make it sublime, it's actually very interesting and illuminating. So what are this verse is now? This is an Etavan verse, as you may have heard. I mean, you pick these out in the Bhagavatam, and they're often very conclusive, right? The first one is in the 2nd canto, right near the beginning, where Sukadeva Goswami is answering Maharaj Parikshit's question. What should one think about? One should one hear as death approaches, which is, of course, a universal question for us too. We don't know how many days, months, and years we have left in this world. So the answer is, of course, that one should absorb one's mind in Bhagavan. Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavya Smartavya Chechitabhayam. For those who want fearlessness, abhayam, during life or at the time, near the time of death, the formula is the same. O best of the Bharatas, descendants of King Bharat. One should hear about, chant about, and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who is the Ishvara in everyone's heart. He has 4 designations. Sarvatma, Bhagavan, Ishvaro, Hari. No question of the object of meditation there. And what will that produce? Well, then he has, I think it's the very next verse. He has the Etavan verse. Etavad Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janma Labak Parak Pungsam Ante Narayana Smriti. This is the bottom line for yogis, bhakti or otherwise. And that is that whether one performs Sankhya or yoga, Ashtanga yoga, or analytical, analyzing things with the Sankhya yoga, or is simply engaged in one's daily activities, Swadharma, in the Varnashram system. The bottom line, the litmus test of whether you're successful or not, is whether you can remember Narayan at the end of life. So, in order to do that, one has to obviously think of Narayan during this lifetime. And that's the whole process of Krishna consciousness, to engage everything one has, one's mind, intelligence, senses, money, life breath, home, whatever you may have in your control, to engage it somehow within the service of the Lord. Now, how to do that, that's instructed by the Acharya, by the Guru, by the Shastra, how to do it properly, so that the process works, that the Lord is pleased to bestow upon you the detachment that comes from this engagement. We have to be attached. That's the nature of the living entity. We have to be attracted, we have to be attached, because by nature we're part and parcel of Krishna. And being conscious living beings, Krishna is a conscious living being with senses, with activities. We're also like that. In this artificial material realm that we are, the artificial material consciousness, let me put it that way, we've taken all of that attachment and attention and energy and placed it through this material body. This has been done for us. In other words, we're given this facility just so that we can forget Krishna. We can misdirect that attachment, and then what happens is that these attachments develop, and they don't end with death. You know, you become attached to something in this lifetime, and you can never get fulfillment in that, and then it carries you to the next life, and it's a very complicated entanglement. So Krishna consciousness helps us systematically to withdraw our attachment from matter and place it on Krishna. And especially in this age, the primary, all-encompassing process for doing that is chanting and hearing the holy name of Krishna. The very name Krishna means attraction. It's meant to draw our attention and our attraction, our attachment, and our love, ultimately. And by hearing that name, by chanting it, no matter what situation you're in, it doesn't matter. What is it? No. Second verse of Shikshastika. Nam makari bahudani disarva shakti tattapi adiyamatek smarane nakala. There's no restriction, there's no rules, as we learned early on, there's no hard and fast rules for chanting. Anyone, anytime, any place can chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And as soon as we do that, the mind is turned toward Krishna. Now, our underlying consciousness in chanting, of course, is not pure at the beginning. So this is what's called sadhana. Sadhana is the process of refining our practice of Krishna consciousness so that the material attachments fall away, or as they very dramatically described in the Bhagavatam, are cut. They're cut by the sword of remembrance. In the second chapter, first canto. Yadadunyasina yukta karma granti nabandhanam chindandi kovidastata konakaya konakuya katara team. So, by the sword of remembrance, a very similar verse comes before this, as the one in the second canto. Tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan satvatamati shoti dhyayak pujas nityada. This is right in the middle of that second chapter. Therefore, with one pointed mind, one should hear about, chant about, and constantly worship the Supreme Lord. And in this way, one will develop that sword of remembrance. Anudyasina. Asina is a sword. Anudya comes from dhyana. You get it? It's like a sword of remembrance. And with that sword of remembrance, karma granti nabandhanam. One can cut the bonds of karma. Now, karma is tied up also with your attachments and your likes and your dislikes, obviously. So it's all tied together. It means you cut your attachments, you cut your karmic bonds. Who would not be attracted? Well, the vast number of people wouldn't be attracted because they're conditioned to be attracted to matter. So how can you develop that attraction for hearing and chanting, which is the main tool in the toolbox of the bhaktas for meditating on Krishna and developing attraction to Krishna? By serving the pure devotee. Shushusho shadadhanasya vasudeva kataruchi syam mahatsevaya viprapunyatirthanashevana. Shushusho, here's this word comes up again and again. Ardent hearing. This ardent, it means, Shushusho also carries the meaning of service, which means that you hear, you imbibe the instructions from the Shastra or from the Guru, the Acharya, the Gurus, and you take it in, and you make it, as we sing every morning, Guru Mukha Putna Bhakachiti. Make that words of the Guru one with your heart. Don't desire anything else. This one-pointed receptivity and attention is key. And it comes in, and then you act on it, and then the purification is taking place. And this is the whole process of bhakti. So By that service, then the taste for hearing and chanting comes. It may not be full blown, so that you don't want to hear anything else, you don't want to do anything else, you want to stay up all night every night and chant Hare Krishna. It's not at that level immediately. But when Krishna understands from within your heart that you're hearing Srinvatam Sukata Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtana, hearing and chanting these sound vibrations which bring piety in and of themselves, Ridyanjaksto Yabodhani Vidunoti. This vidunoti means cleansing away. The whole thing is a purification process. Krishna himself, in the heart, cleanses away the abhadras, means the attachments, the bad attachments, purifying, everything's going on there. Because he's, he's the friend of the sincere devotee. I thought of this analogy. You can shoot me down if it doesn't work for you. But this came to me the other day while I was is how, so much of Krishna consciousness really means to be receptive and to be appreciative of the gifts that are given. The gifts. That's Krishna consciousness is moving on that. Devotees going out all over the world, trying to give people transcendental knowledge. Yes, you accept the donation, but basically they're going out there not to make money, but to give this incredible gift of Krishna consciousness. That was Prabhupada's motivation. He made the point to the Indians, when he was speaking in India, that I went to the West not to get something, not to get a degree in engineering or to make money or anything, but to give Krishna consciousness. So I'm not really a beggar there in the ultimate sense of the word. And therefore, Prabhupada didn't feel, as his contemporaries were trying to get him to do, the uptown yogis, when he first came, give up this dress, you can't. It was even, I heard it on I was reading in the Lilamrita recently, that Nikhilananda, who I met eventually in 1972 at the Ramakrishna mission, he was encouraging Prabhupada to loosen up on the 4 regs. In this cold weather, Prabhupada went to this horrendous winter of 65, 66, soon after he came. But he wouldn't stop wearing the dhoti. He wouldn't start eating meat and drinking liquor, which keeps you warm, that you're encouraging you. You have to do it in this. Prabhupada said, no. He refused. And because he kept that absolute purity, he had the potency to start this, this revolution. Did you not?
He also said, learn how to play piano. They really love the piano.
Oh, really?
And I'll find you an old lady to sponsor you. You'll just have to develop a relationship.
Oh my God, I never heard that one before. That's when he came downtown, where all the action was. Uptown has been corrupted, all the money, I mean, I know Manhattan, uptown and the east side is like, anyway. Riverside Drive, Anyway. So that purity is there, in the acharyas, and they have the power to infuse us with the faith to begin the practice, and as soon as we begin the practice, the purification is going on from within. Krishna wants us. Now here was my little realization. So I recall, I don't know if it happens to everybody as you get older, but suddenly I'm starting to think of way back when I was a little kid, and things are coming, I'm remembering things. So I remember in those days, the 50s and 60s, then most of us go through the measles and the mumps and all of these things, and that actually makes you stronger. If you all get all the vaccines, anyway, there's a whole thing, but that was what it was. I did get a few vaccines, but now they got like 60 vaccines for these kids. It's too much. So periodically I would get sick, and my mother would take care of me. And my father was working, she was at home, and the usual thing, I guess this is, nowadays, of course, with both parents working, it's not so much like that. But, and I remember lying on those beds, when she would bring me food and everything, take care of me, make sure I'm warm, take temperature, all these different things. So I was feeling, this loving protection of my mother. And it happened again and again. And so, what was she doing? Well, she had this, instinctive love for me, but it manifested in the care, in giving me the things that I needed in order to become cured. Now, that same basic principle is there with Krishna and his representatives. We're in this bhavaroga. This whole life in this world is a disease. It's called a bhavaroga. We don't even know we're sick. We think this is all there is. Of course, we periodically get ill, But the point is the whole material life is a disease of the soul. So Krishna comes because he's concerned. What does it mean when he says Suridam Sarvabhutanam? That he is the Surit of every living entity. Surit, Prabhupada explained in a tape, these lectures are so illuminating. He says the different levels of friends, just like we have in English. You can say, bosom buddy or just an acquaintance. So Surit in Sanskrit means someone who is always, always, always thinking of your welfare. Basically speaking, there's no material relationship that can be like that. But Krishna is Surit, and he's in the heart. He's always in the heart. And he's thinking of our welfare, trying to enlighten us, trying to guide us in the right way, and coming externally as the guru, as the Shastra, speaking the Shastra. Because exactly this, he's trying to help us become cured of the material disease. So that kind of motherly, protective love is there in Krishna. All love is concentrated in Krishna, right? I mean, whatever kind of love or affection there is, Krishna manifested in his Leela. And we're part of that Leela. We've just forgotten. So that care that's there not only in Krishna, but in his sincere representatives like Srila Prabhupada, we should feel that that's what they're trying to do so hard. Now I'm especially involved with, of course with the book production. And this is one of the things I've been ruminating on lately because I've been going through the whole Bhagavatam. And how much work and labor Prabhupada put into that, to give us this knowledge, day after day. And there wasn't many years that he was with us that he really didn't have some serious health issue going on, especially traveling around the world, at his age. It was very difficult. And yet every morning, 12 o'clock in the morning, he would get up and dictate and give us, and plus speaking, plus managing all the headaches of the movement, you can just imagine. And he was doing it completely out of love for us, out of compassion and love for us, knowing that this is exactly what we needed as, living entities. And we'd taken a step forward, and we were actually receptive to the message. So, kind of being aware of that should inspire gratitude in our hearts and eagerness to really take the gift that's been given and fully utilize it. That's the point. We've been given the most valuable thing. Like just I was chanting this morning, we're chanting japa, which is our regular sadhana, of course. And there's so many verses and so many anecdotes about how valuable the holy name is. That one with Sanatana Goswami, where he had a Chintamani gem by which you can get as much gold as you want, and he was keeping it in the trash, and he was just chanting Hare Krishna. You know the story. I won't go through the story. But I mean, obviously this holy name, the Hare Krishna mantra, is more valuable than anything material. So why don't we, relish it that way? Why don't we just drink it in? Like there's this one verse. Vichayani, vichayani, vichinjani punak punaha, kripanasya dhanani vatpunnamani bhavantu naha. I put in a little poem. This is a prayer to become a miser. Usually a miser, no, we don't want to become a miser. It says, compelled to constantly collect and count his precious hoard, the miser contemplates his wealth with avaricious aims. Please bless me to become a miser who's compelled, O Lord, to constantly collect and count and contemplate your names. So this is the kind of madness you read about in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord Chaitanya and his devotees, or the Chaitanya Bhagavat, they would get together in Srivas Angan, Srivas home, and they'd have kirtan, and it would go on all night, and then, then everyone would be relishing like nobody wanted to stop. And the same thing with hearing and chanting. Lord Chaitanya would be with Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma and the other, and Sup Damodar and Puri, and they would just go all night. They wouldn't even think of stopping, and the sun would come up. I have the morning duties to perform, So what's going on there? Well, the thing is that the very things that we're doing, chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavatam, sometimes chanting a nectar verse from the Rupa Goswami, whatever, they're doing that, but the taste is overwhelming. They're actually tasting it as the sweetest of the sweet, of the most attractive of the attractive. In other words, it's completely obliterated any hint of material desire. And that's what's being spoken of here. He's giving like the essence of yoga from one point of view, is complete detachment from material energy, from material attraction. Complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. But really, in the purport and in our philosophy, we understand that total and complete detachment can only be achieved by bhakti. Because think of it as a graph. I'm working with words all the time. So let me ask you a question. We have the word attachment. What's the opposite of attachment? Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. The opposite of attachment is aversion. Detachment, think of it 180 degrees different. Attachment, aversion, right? And at 90 degrees is your detachment. Detachment is good, vairagya. It's just a peculiarity of English, but that's the way it works. So the yogis, the Ashtanga yogis, go alone to the Himalayas, get away from everybody, and just work on it. They can achieve a certain measure of detachment by doing that. But they can't really they can't really have a firm detachment from everything because they're not becoming attached to Krishna. You see, this is the fallacy. That verse was referred to, I think, yesterday. The demigods are praying to Krishna in the womb, and they're saying, besides the bhaktas, there are others, Anye, O lotus-eyed Lord, who are averse to your devotional service. And they think themselves liberated. After performing severe austerities as Ashtanga yogis or just jnanis, I mean, it's inconceivable to us how austere it is to try to be detached from everything without Krishna. Can you imagine how dry it is to be a Mayavadi? I mean, I went through some of that, when I was with the Ramakrishnas. And we had a song. I think Shankaracharya sang the song. It wasn't about Krishna. It was like I think it was on I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. I'm just pure spirit soul. I must think that Lord Chaitanya, the basis of Dasanudasa verse, where he says, I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a brahmachari, I'm 8 things. Then what are you? I'm just a pure spirit soul? No. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalaya Dasa Anudasa. I'm the servant of the gopis, who are the servants of Krishna's lotus feet. That's the difference. So we had these songs, and just singing and dancing itself was an attractive thing, so we'd get into it, But it didn't have the kind of a potency that a kirtan has. There wasn't any Krishna there. You see, this is the problem. So the detachment really, or the attachment, has to be transferred. You can't suppress it. You can't erase it. This was spoken of right at the beginning. We're back to the Sadhu Sangastika. Sangha. The whole theme there is Sangha. This is about Sangha, right? It says, asangas, kritsnasha, complete asanga. But in the beginning, he says to his mother, prasangam ajadam pasham atmana kavayo vidu saheva sada shukrato moksha dvaram apavatam. He says, mundane attachment keeps us bound to birth and death infernal, but love for sadhus opens wide the doors to life eternal. The idea is that the attachment we have first has to be directed toward the acharya, to the guru. It's all personal. This is why it's said in our song again, Shri Guru Chadanarate Ese Utamagati, that attraction for the lotus feet of the guru is the best means of advancement. Why? Because then you'll be eager to serve. When someone like that asks you to do something, you say, okay, sure, Swamiji, let's do it. Everything was writing on that the devotee's attachment for Prabhupada at the beginning. Chant Hare Krishna, all right, let's try it, And then eventually we'd say, okay, go start a temple in Germany. Okay, I'll do it. That's the surrender. Where there's enough love, you can do anything. Mother for the child, you can sacrifice your life when the love is there. So that attraction has to be first. Then you have to find who is the sadhu, and we learn that, Tatiksha Bhakaranika, and Mayananyena Bhavena, undeviating devotion to me. So right away we're in the bhakti realm, right? And then what do the acharyas do? They meet together and they chant and hear about Krishna. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. That's the essence of the 8 verses of the Sadhu Sangashtaka. Chapter 25, we just were in chapter 32, 7 chapters ago, starting text 28, I believe. So what happens? Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. Again, the word prasanga, you see. In other words, don't try to squelch or eradicate your attachment. Transfer your attachment to the devotees and to Krishna. And that's healthy attachment. We want to be attached, but not to matter. It's just a question of sublimating the attachment, if you will. So what happens when that attachment, this is the bhakti yogis, how it naturally results in detachment. This is the word vairagya. We want detachment. We don't want attachment to matter. We don't want aversion to matter. We want detachment from positive and negative there, which was spoken of in the previous verse. They don't see high and low. They see everybody equally, right? This is the. But we want strong, powerful, passionate, compelling attachment to Krishna and Krishna's name and everything having to do with his service. That's the process of bhakti. So within that, this essential verse, in all of the teachings of Kapila Dev, this is one of the most famous verses. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. With meaningful and intimate attachment and attraction for the devotees, pure devotees who are hearing and chanting. What's going to happen? You're going to hear about me. Mama virya samvido. Remember that word vira, powerful activities. Bhavanti ritkan rasayana kata. And this hearing and chanting about my attachment, my pastimes, Kapila Dev says, is very pleasing to the heart and to the ear. And and this process is the process of liberation. It's exactly relevant here. Mama viryasam bhavanti ritkan rasayana kata tajoshanat ashu apavarga vartmani. This is the path of liberation. And quickly, if one is on this path nicely, then he'll develop 3 things. Shraddha, rati, and bhakti, anukrumashati, step by step. Faith develops. How do you develop faith in this? I mean, from the outside, this looks like, completely fantastical things that we believe in, And the ultimate one is that, anyway, I'm going to get into it. But, obviously, just look at that picture on the wall there. I can understand, walking in the forest, that makes, I can't understand how all the universes are emanating from the body of Mahavishnu, How are we going to get faith that this is the truth? By hearing and associating and serving those who are faithful, And the first service is hearing, always the first service. So in that association, and if one is properly situated in his consciousness, the faith will come. Shraddha, rati, attraction will come, and bhakti. Bhakti here means pure devotion, real devotion. Anukrumishati, step by step. And the very next verse talks about detachment, which is the subject here. It says, Bhaktya puman jati viraga, aindriyad, drishta shrutanman vachananu chintaya. It says, by this process of bhakti yoga, this is a sadhana bhakti, sitting and hearing and chanting. Puman jati viraga gives birth, generates vairagya from the material. That vairagya is what we want, detached. And aindriyat, from the sense gratification. Now, what kind? Drishta shrutan, what we've experienced already in this world, or what we can see others experiencing, and what we've heard about in the heavenly planets. That's what this means. Drishta shrutan. How? Madvrachananu chintaya, by thinking about my activities. Krishna's lila, which includes name, form, qualities, and pastimes. And by this means, chitta, I forget that it goes, but one controls the mind and is rijubir. Rijubir means easy. This is the easiest process of yoga. Walk in the door and sit down, And listen, the key is the quality of the mind, but you got to show up first. You're there, and what can be easy? You don't have to go to Himalayas. You don't have to practice the pranayama and everything, Prabhupada said, a good kirtan, you're practicing, the breathing is going on. It's all there. So that's what this process is all about. Now, there's variations on it. Okay, I live far from a temple. All right, today you can get online, buy a book, take it home to the middle of Idaho or somewhere. There's no temple for a million, but there's the books. Through the media, you can experience the association of the pure devotees. You can hear, you can advance. So that's how the detachment can go on. Detachment is really devotees. We understand it. There's the process of yukta vairagya. That's what it's all about. And I'm over time. So he says, anasaktasya vishayan yataham upayunjita nirbandha krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchate. This is the kind of vairagya we want, not this pulgu vairagya. So anasaktas, without attachment to the vishayas, the object of the senses. Yataham upayunjita, engaging them where appropriate and when appropriate in the service of Krishna. Nirbandha Krishna sambandhe. In this way, you get bound up to Krishna and you get unbound from Maya. Nirbandhe means without bondage to the object of the senses, because you're not enjoying them yourself. It's just like every cook knows it. The offering is that you're supposed to cook, with the this is going to be for Krishna, and you make the place, you put the covers over there, so the bhaktins are walking by don't get a desire for it. You remember Madhavendra Puri? He even thought of tasting before it was offered, or while it was being offered, he felt it was a great offense. So the whole idea is that you're not supposed to lust after it, babu, so so the idea is for Krishna. In this way, you're sublimating the whole desire. It becomes an act of devotion rather than just I'm cooking so I can eat something. That's so that is supposed to be there for everything that we do. We're playing the drum for Krishna's pleasure. Yes, let's have the kirtan really nice, so that Krishna will be pleased. And as soon as you're in that mode and you're thinking of the holy name, you find that you're pleased too. We're secondary enjoyers, but that enjoyment can be extreme. It can be, oceanic. If we're actually connected to Krishna. That's why Lord Chaitanya wanted to come as his best devotee, so he could experience that enjoyment, which he saw was even greater than his own. So we've covered a lot of ground, maybe a little too thinly, but that's what I get from this verse. Any discussion? We only have 2 hours, so. I'm just kidding. All right, I'll read the translation again. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga, and actually achieved fully by bhakti yoga. Hare Krishna. Balaram has something.
So yesterday Devasiti was mentioning that verse
Yeah, that was in the purport too.
In reading that and some of the things within our scriptures, devotees, get different ideas and how they will personally engage in those practices.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's fasting or not fasting or whatever. Performing different austerities. Maybe you could just comment on the idea of performing intense devotional service or austerities, but specifically the importance of doing that under the guidance of, experienced persons or senior persons.
Yeah, well, you kind of answered the question there. That was what I was going to say. The thing is, everything has to be done with guidance. This is, especially at the stage when we really don't know that much. Ultimately, that's what the whole parampara is about, is that the instruction's coming down from Krishna, and it's coming down through, the parampara, Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, down to us. And there's plenty of scope for intensity, but it has to be directed in that way. Otherwise, that intensity, it's just like you're driving very fast with a lot of purpose, to get to your destination, but unfortunately you're going south instead of north. So you're actually going the wrong way and getting more entangled. So we have to be very careful that yes, we should apply our energies in this way, but it should be under guidance, and we can be confident that it will produce the desired effect. There's also, the possibility of going overboard. The fasting thing can be one thing. Oh, I fasted yesterday, Prabhu. Today I can't do anything. I have to rest. Why? The whole idea is to make you more enthusiastic for all of your services. The certain duties have to be there. That itself is an evidence of seriousness, regularity. I mean, you notice how everything is regular. You know, the deity worship everyone knows. As soon as you learn about it, you know, punctuality and cleanliness is the two main things. But that goes for us also. I was thinking about this. What was that verse that we just... All right, there's so many verses going on. Oh no, something I read in the morning. How dancing before the deity is meditation. And that's also, like, for most of us, you know, our deity worship. I haven't been on the altar in quite a while. But that's part of deity worship. As Prabhu famously said, one should not differentiate between the cleaner of the temple and the one who's addressing the deities. You know, they're both within the realm of sincere service for the deity. And, you know, we have to constantly remind ourselves, it is not just a stone statue there. There's Krishna. There's Krishna. Even though I may not realize it, I understand it, and I have to act as if, you know, I understand it. Meaning we bow down to Krishna, not to a statue. We're bowing down, and we're glorifying for his pleasure, and we'll be there on time. I mean, it's just like, you know, if Krishna and Radharani walked through the door here, you know, looking for their devotees, how would we all react? Wouldn't we, like, hit the deck first, you know, and then jump up and have a big kirtan and be made? But here they are every morning. They're greeting us. The curtain's open, you know, and they've agreed to allow themselves to be dressed and to be cared for by the pujaris, and they reflect the beauty there, you know, and the beautiful, you know, compassionate, loving faces, you know, smiles are there. But, you know, so-and-so isn't there, he's late, you know. So that's part of the sincerity. And so doing the things that we're asked to do and that we're assigned to do with the intensity, this is where it starts. Then everything else can expand out of that, you know. The holy name, chanting, to be in good consciousness, you know, the 4 P's, you know, purity, prayerfulness, preparation the night before, and posture, you know. Trying to achieve those. That's a evidence of sincerity. So yes, intensity, but in a way that expands not only your devotional service but everyone's devotional service. Otherwise, you know, I mean, we have so much experience. This, you know, these Hare Krishnas, you know, this ISKCON, all right, I've been in ISKCON so many years, go back way into the 70s with Prabhupada. And now I've learned, you know, I can read Sanskrit, I know there's so much more, so I have to go out. And you know. And what happens, you know, generally you just make a mess of things yourself. You know, it's not according to your swadharma, according to the services that have been given by your acharya and so forth. So you can be intense. The karmis are really intense, oftentimes, in what they're doing, but they're not making any advancement. So consult before and find out that it's bona fide and authorized, and then go for it. You know, whether it's fasting or more chanting or some dietary thing you want to do, or less sleep, more, you know, whatever. There's all kinds of ways that we can increase. But it should be done under guidance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangsam Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantam Tvam Sajivam Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanikanstam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,